some bagels. And I'm gonna do it in a wig, because wigs are great. And I'm gonna do it in a cape, because they make everything better. So the recipe I'm using, I'll link below, because I don't want to try and go back and forth telling you what I'm doing. But I'm just gonna focus on the technique. They're not the prettiest bagels, but they taste pretty darn good. So first thing we're gonna do is I've got some warm water, slightly warm, like room temperature water. I'm gonna add my sugar and 2 teaspoons of yeast. This is a part that I've heard you don't actually need to do, like it's not really necessary, but all of the recipes call for it. Apparently if you're using like active yeast, which I am, you shouldn't have to do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway because the recipe tells me to. Alright, I got sugar, yeast. We're just gonna let it chill, not stir it because it tells me not to, for like 5 to 10 minutes until it gets kind of frothy. And in the meantime, I'm gonna stick my flour, salt in a bowl here and whisk it up. Alright, so it's starting to kind of foam a little bit. I'm gonna mix it up as per the instructions, and then it's going in here with a little bit more water. Okay, we're going to add our yeasty mixture here, and another little bit of water. And then we're gonna start to mix. I use a fork because it helps combine everything, but it doesn't get stuck in it in the same way that a whisk does. So I'm gonna do it this way. Now, I think because of where I live, I usually end up needing extra water, which the recipe says can happen. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. Now, I usually end up needing the full amount, which is an extra 1/4 cup. So let's do that. We want a moist but firm dough. I'm gonna add a little bit more. We're not in the moist category at the moment. We are definitely in the kind of dry flaky category at the moment. A little moist, firm, good. Now, we got a floured surface here. Don't need all that anymore. Making bread is messy business, guys. Plop it down, cover the top, and start kneading. Now, kneading bread is pretty simple, really. What you're going to do is you push away from yourself, pull back, and turn. Push, pull, turn. Push, pull. Alright, our little dough baby is looking pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and drop it into a bowl. We're going to drop it into a bowl that we're coating with a little bit of olive oil so that as it rises, it doesn't stick too bad. And then we're going to let it sit for a while. It's not that warm in here, so it may take longer than the usual like 2 hours that you would let it rest, but we want it to double in size. So into that dough baby. In you go. You're going to turn it around a little bit so that you coat it in a little bit of that oil. And then we're going to cover it up with a towel and let it chill. Now I did turn the oven on for the express purpose of just warming the kitchen up a little bit. So I'm going to turn it off, open it up, let that heat kind of get in underneath this a bit, and it should help it rise a bit. So cooking in the winter. In the meantime, let's clean up our mess a little bit. Voila, all better until we actually make the bagels. The wig has come off, but it's a few hours later, and our bread has done its bread thing. Look how pretty it is. Alright, now what I'm going to do is form the bagels and then let those rest for an additional 10 minutes. So let's get making some bagels. That wasn't supposed to happen. I was supposed to punch it first. There we go. It's been punched. I forgot a crucial step, which is to punch it and then let it rest for 10 minutes. So we'll be back in 10 minutes. Punching dough is very satisfying, by the way. Now I'm going to divide this for my bagels and start forming. The recipe calls for 8. Yes, it calls for 8. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. I've done the bigger ones before, but I think we'll stick to 8 this time. I just use a knife. We're gonna start with a little round of dough with a little bit of flour, just for hands. You're supposed to kind of turn it. So you want like to give a little bit more pressure underneath the ball and less up top, and it just kind of forms. Quoi?
Est-ce que je peux?
Qu'est-ce que c'est? Pour l'ordinateur?
Oui.
Pas maintenant. Tu fais la douche?
Après la douche?
C'est tu fais la douche?
Oui, et après?
Peut-être.
Oui.
Je sais pas. These are not equally sized. Oh well. Form some bagels. They're not going to be super pretty, but this one ended up really big. I don't know why. Oh. Now I've gotten a paper towel, damp, squeezed out the extra water, and I'm going to cover it. Use this to cover the bagels. The bagel babies are resting. We're gonna pop this on without the fan if you are in a place that has one of those. I have learned this the hard way. If you use the fan, it makes the oven too hot and you'll burn your stuff. You have to try and cook at a lower temperature for like a shorter time. And it just doesn't come out quite as right. So if you want to follow the actual recipe, use it without the fan. Alright, for this next bit, I've got some water. It's a boiling. And I'm going to boil the bagels for about 1.5 minutes each. I find that that's a good spot for them. It's between like 1 and 2 minutes, 2 minutes being chewier, 1 minute being less. So I find a good middle ground there. I am not going to record the boiling of the bagels because I use my phone as a timer. So you put them in the water, you wait a minute, you flip them over, you wait another minute, you pop them back out again. Minute to 2 minutes per side. Okay? Okay. Here they are after coming out of the water. You can see that they plumped up a good bit. I'm going to add some salt. I've already done it to the first couple here. This is completely optional, and I usually don't, but I just wanted to add a little salt this time. So, ta-da, salt. Okay, they're in there. I'm gonna go in for 20 minutes. Put my timer on for 10. Siri just told me, Roger that, T-minus 10 minutes, in that way that she does sometimes. Just to check on them and maybe rotate the pan because our oven doesn't heat perfectly evenly. Excuse me, I'm doing something. Because I might rotate the pan because our oven doesn't heat perfectly, and just kind of check on them because it is usually a little hotter than my ovens I'm used to. Those, everybody, are bagels. Success! I'm sure they'll be delicious. I'll try and crack one open for you later. So the bagels were delicious. We enjoyed some of them after dinner because we do like a bread and cheese that's not the word I was looking for. We do like a bread and cheese course most nights after dinner, depending on who's still hungry. So most of us had a little bit of the bagels with kiri, which is very similar to cream cheese. I think it's pretty much the same thing. I have seen Philadelphia cream cheese in the grocery store, but we never buy it. We always buy the kiri because that's what the kids eat. Big old globs of it right into their mouths. It's really weird, but it's really good on the bagels, so we eat that. And then the kids will probably have it with jam in the morning, and Gaia will probably take a couple with her to school. She's got school tomorrow, which is why I made them, and I will probably eat one with kiri because it's delicious. And yeah, that's how I make bagels. I'll link the recipe down below. Give it a try. and let me know how it goes.